Hey, I'm Albert Myers, and this is The Creative Side, the show that explores the talent of the D.C., Maryland, and Virginia area. On today's show, we have APO Washington Bureau. APO Washington Bureau combines gospel, blues, R&B, soul, and protest music, guiding listeners through the African American experience, engrossing them in a learn through music experience. I first encountered APO Washington Bureau at a performance at the Friendship Heights Village Center back in 2019. Here to perform a cover of A Change Is Gonna Come is APO Washington Bureau.
What's up there beyond the sky? It's been a long time coming, but I know a change gonna come. Oh, yes it will. You see, I go to the movies and I go downtown. Somebody keep telling me don't hang around. It's been a long time coming, but I know a change gonna come. Oh, yes it will. Then I go to my brother and I say, brother, won't you help me, please? But he winds up knocking me back down on my knees. Oh, there's been times that I thought I couldn't last for long, but now I know I'm able to carry on. It's been a long time coming, but I know it's been a long time coming, but I know it's been a long time coming, but I know change gonna come. Oh, yes, it will.
So I'm very happy to have as our guest on the creative side today the group called APO Washington Bureau, and welcome to you all. So
Thank you.
so just to get started, why don't we just go around kind of the Hollywood squares here and just wherever you want to start, just introduce yourselves and what your role in the group is.
Okay, I'll start. My name is Leigh. I founded the group here in DC, and we'll talk more about the parts of this group in a minute. But I do the vocals, especially background vocals, and I tell stories when we do our history show. I do a lot of narrating. And I'm so happy that everyone could join me. We are only missing one person from the band, and that is our guitar player. He had an injury to his back, so he wasn't able to join us today. But thank you for having us. We're very happy to talk with you. Thank you.
Thank you. Moving on in that same square, the gentleman beside you, want to introduce yourself and tell us your role in the group.
My name is Gary Paul Quick. I'm the bass player of the group, and I've been with Paulie now for a couple of years. But I done played all over the country and on the road up and down. But this is one of the best groups I've ever been with, and I'm gonna hang with them and see what we can do, to have some fun.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you very much for joining us. All right, moving on. Well, I guess we'll go down from there. We have Amanda and Victor. If you want to go ahead and introduce yourselves.
Oh, I'm Victor Washington. I'm the keyboard player, and I'm the god sister to Leigh, and I am the godfather to Amanda, and I've adopted the rest. Denise is now one of my god sisters as well, and Gary is my brother.
Thanks for joining
All
us.
family over here.
That's right.
Yeah.
Hey.
And my name is Amanda. I, like Victor just said, I'm his goddaughter. My aunt Leigh, my adopted aunt Denise, and I'm one of the singer-songwriters in the group.
Thank you both for joining us.
Thanks.
All right, moving on. We have Denise.
Hey, I'm the drummer. And I met Leigh through another venue. I met Gary through playing in another band. And all of us have just met together and combined our talents together to get what we have today. It's a pleasure to play with all these talented musicians. So that's all I have to say.
Thank you for joining us. So
Thank
just to
you.
get the ball rolling, like how would you best describe the music that you play? Like, without categorizing it too much, no one wants to put strong labels on their music, but what would you describe the style of music that you play? Anyone who wants to answer.
I'll jump in here. The reason that we have that unique name, APO, that was really Victor's idea. The All-Purpose Orchestra, which tells you that we do a lot of different genres, and the genres might be jazz, they might be rhythm and blues, it might be sometimes I do classical, and other people that you can all relate to that because we were all kind of raised listening to classical music, and just everything put together in one bag. That's why we call ourselves All Purpose. But this is the Washington Bureau you're interviewing right now. But we love to just mix it up, and included with that range of topics and genres that we perform is Black history. So we often put a show on that highlights the history of our passage through to today, or the passage all the way through the slavery, the freedom movement to today. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, definitely. As how I came to know you was through a performance at the Village of Friendship Heights. We were treated to a performance by the group, and and I just, as I've told you many times, the emotional content of what you do is just, it's very moving. It's, and it really feels like, you learn, I learned, every song, I felt like I learned a little bit more just, about the pain and the perseverance of a people, you know, going through such hard times. And,
Yeah.
and, so moving on from there, what would you say? So what's happening with the group? Obviously, COVID has been a big impact on
Yeah.
everyone's schedule and their ability to perform. What
Yeah.
opportunities have you had to play music live? I mean, you know, is there anything?
It's few and far between. So I'm usually the one out there scratching for work, looking for things. Uh, and it's, but this is why we brought this together. And I'm going to turn it over to Vic to tell you, you know, how this group manages to still find work as a whole, and what we are trying to do on the whole.
So tell me about how the group was sort of formed. How did you all sort of come together and form APO?
Well, what took place was we had an APO already in place in New York, and that it was Leigh's brother, myself, and my goddaughter Amanda here that were all part of it. She was part of also a singing group called Godchild. And what we did was we created like a network of musicians, and Harley built a beautiful group environment in Washington, D.C. that was rooted around Denise herself and some other wonderful musicians all together. And her brother would go and perform, and Amanda would go and perform with them in Washington, D.C. So we decided we'll put them both together as an organization. And that way, that was how they became APO Washington Bureau, which is Leigh, and we're the APO in New York.
Very nice. So how has that been, you know, just in general? I imagine that that's hard to kind of, you know, facilitate. Leigh and others who are down in Washington, do they on occasion travel up to New York and perform, and vice versa?
Whenever we have something that will facilitate having both groups together or having a number of musicians together, we know that these are the folks that we'll call first. It's like having a collective, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So if Leigh wants us to come support a show she has down there, whatever she needs, she got. We have horn players, we have people here, you know, that we can bring there. And whenever we have something going on here, we'll call Leigh and she'll talk to the folks that are there.
Very
see
nice.
What we can get up here.
Very nice. That sounds like a great little working, you know, a collaboration that you have going on. That's excellent.
It works really well. I want to just point out though that the main thing, the core group that we're featuring and the core people is Amanda, because she's got an amazing voice, and Denise, who is a fantastic drummer. She's played all over the world.
And sings.
And sings. It's a secret though. But
that's like the encore performance. It's like, oh, the drummer sings too, man.
Yes,
is there
exactly,
anything these guys can't do?
We got it all. We got it all.
That's nice.
And then myself, they let me hang out with them. I'm just barely keeping it up, but I'm trying my best to be part of this because they're so talented. And the guys have so graciously joined us to help us and support us as a girl group. So I really think that dynamic is awesome.
Very nice, very nice. So tell me about some of the music that you play. I obviously play some covers, but it sounds like you also have some songwriters in your group as well. You mentioned that Amanda writes songs. So you know, Amanda, tell me about your songwriting process. Like how do you kind of start writing songs?
Well, when I start writing, I just kind of focus on what is the main story that I want to tell in the song. A lot of the songs that we tend to do, we try to not just sing like a pop tune, but something that's going to tell you about someone's experience in life or someone's experience in a relationship or something like this. So this way, it's really more personal. So it's kind of like really drawing you in. That's where I really start my process. And then I kind of build the music around that.
Very, very nice. Yeah, I know that the storytelling part is a big part of the performance that you gave at Friendship Heights, and I really enjoyed those little parts. They, like you said, they really put you right into the heart of what you're talking about. What can people do to support local and groups like yourself?
We really just want to make sure that when everything opens back up, that people are actually still is something that people actually want to do. When we were rehearsing at Leigh's house, we had the door open, and a lot of her neighbors that actually came and sat out on their steps and were just like walking past the house. Like we know that there is still a desire to hear music. So it's going to take, in order for us to really be able to facilitate this type of event, or a live performance or something like that where people can watch it from the safety of their homes, I think it's going to come down to people reaching out to us and letting us know that there is actually a desire for it, because not everyone wants to hear the stories that we tell and stuff like this. So we just want to make sure that if people really are interested in it, that we can start a dialogue or some sort of conversation where they can reach back and we can convene back and forth with them.
Yeah. And I want to follow up on that, Mandy. That's an excellent, true story. After the rehearsal, I kept hearing from my neighbors, and they were like, "Are you going to rehearse again? Are you going to open the door?" And finally they said, "Can we do a block party where you're outside and we are entertained?" And we would love to do that, and we're going to. We just have to have the right weather. A little cooperation from Mother Nature won't hurt, and we'll be doing that. And they decided they would like to take a collection for us. So that's another way, that we can still keep going, because it does cost money, transportation, all of that, to get our music together.
Sure, absolutely.
And I'd like to hear how it has affected Denise, because she has the most work in the music industry, because she's very, very experienced and very sought after. So I know she's making it work a different way now, right, Denise?
Yes, of course, I'm not performing as much, in church or various artists, and it hasn't been that easy, but I still maintain my practice time at home and doing what I can from the house. But I also decided to work more on investing in musicians online and trying to help them make money online when we're not working, because a lot of us musicians have been out of work since, I believe it was March. I think my last gig was back in March, besides what we had. And that's been very challenging, but I decided to put something together where musicians can find other ways to use their gifts, their talents, their creativity to make money, whether it's online, whether it's putting a little snippet of jingles or beats or drum beats or whatever. Just give them ideas, creative ideas, so that we don't just shut ourselves down. Because for a minute, I wasn't playing at all, not even practicing, because the devastation of everything kind of hits you a little hard. And luckily, I have other income and other streams of income coming in, but I decided I wanted to share that with other musicians, where, we can reinvent ourselves as musicians, singers, writers. This is the time to do it. This is the time to write your songs, write your music, do what you need to do, so that when we do open back up, you're stronger than you were before. So that's the way I tried to handle it for now.
Victor, did you have something to add? I noticed you were ready to say something.
Yes, absolutely. If you don't mind,
Sure.
You are a very important person to the concept of what we're doing. We need to keep recognition going along until we get past the hardest part of this COVID situation. And we have to continue to develop what we do so that you always have content to put into your show. So this is why it's, in my personal opinion, my background was with the old Motown and all that kind of stuff. And the thing is about staying visible. So in Washington, D.C., Leigh has a fabulous contact in yourself that can help the group as a whole stay visible.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. I like to think that the show is that's the goal behind it, is, and for people to also be inspired by, you know, it's all how we face situations. Some people see it as a challenge and other people see it as opportunity. You know, now, well, I'm home more, and, you know, the expectation isn't that I'm going to have to go out and do these things. Like, I should cultivate my talents and sort of work on what I have right now. And every person that I've talked to through the show, they're capitalizing on the moment. You know, they're writing more, they're really diving into it deeply. So thank you very much for being on the show and for continuing to share your music. I mean, like I said, I hope that I personally get more opportunities to see the show, because it was just such a great experience. And I still listened. I'll go back and watch the video just to listen to the songs, and I'll put it on and play it like when I'm doing, you know, working and stuff like that, and just sing along to the songs and stuff like that.
That makes us happy.
Yeah, because I mean, even that, I think is what is so miraculous about what you do, is that you're able to take something that, you know, could very well just be a depressing sort of downer sort of, you know, situation, but the joy in the music that's able to come out of that, you know, and I think that's how people are able to get through those things. So can you tell me a little bit about the two songs that you chose for the show to highlight on the show? How did those become a part of your repertoire, and, you know, how did they fit in with the larger message of your music?
Well, our repertoire includes gospel, and Mandy and Victor have been church going since the minute they opened their eyes, I believe. And so they're the greatest influence of material. They give me material to do. And those songs are steeped in the history of our past, our slavery, and our growth out of slavery. My own father was a director of a choir. They were called the Negro Ensemble of the Blind. They had angelic voices, and that formed my understanding of music. That their voices, their understanding of harmony, we've kind of tried to incorporate that into our music today. And so it's like everybody brought their gifts together. And so what we think we're trying to put forward is not just the history, but the sounds that we were surrounded by through the years, through history. That, like I said before, jazz, gospel, R&B, all of that, Motown. We have a huge repertoire of Motown songs. So, you know, we just think that that's going to be the process that we continue to follow through on, plus the narrative of our Black history.
Very, very nice. So we're gonna hear another performance from you, but where can people find more about you? Are you on social media, website, all that kind of good stuff?
The young ones they got their stuff out there. They're doing all that. I'm still lagging behind, but they're gonna get me up to speed to get our name out there. APO Washington Bureau, or whether it be APO New York or APO Brazil, because I understand there's a contingent there too. But you know, the songs we're featuring today, as you had asked before, are Change Gonna Come, and Mandy's beautiful voice will be featured there. And her own original tune, which I want y'all to hear, is Say Their Names, which is so right up to the times today, to make sure we don't forget those who have lost their lives at the hands of the police and other people who were able to do that to us. And we want to stop that. And so our song, our message is to get that out there, that we need that kind of behavior curtailed. So please listen to Say Their Names.
Great. Thank you so much again for being on the show. And here they are again, without further ado, APO Washington Bureau.
We have one final song, and it was written and will be performed by my niece, Amanda Rains. And we love it. It's brand new, hot off the presses. Enjoy.
Hey, how you doing? I'm just fine. A lie I say to pass the time. A lie that's overused and just untrue. I watch the news, it makes me scream. I wish all this was a bad dream. This is America, baby, reoccurring theme. Another black life taken down, another black life taken down. Why did they have to kill them? 'Cause they were brown. Another black life taken down, another black life taken down, another black life taken down. 'Cause they were brown. Here comes Monday, I'm back to work. I've got to bury all this hurt, push through till 5 p.m. Lord help me please. I've got to fight to rise above. Call my best friend, I need some love. Hey America, won't you just let me be? Another black life taken down, another black life taken down. Why did they have to kill them? 'Cause they were brown. Another black life taken down, another black life taken down, another black life taken down. 'Cause they were brown. Another black life taken down. Why did they have to kill them? 'Cause they were brown. Another black life taken down, another black life taken down, another black life taken down. 'Cause they were brown. Say their names: Breonna, Martin, Malcolm, Trayvon. Say their names: Freddie Gray, Eric Antonia. Say their names: George, Philando, and Jacob. Their names. Oh, oh, yeah. Say their names. They didn't have to go, y'all. Say their names.
Thanks for watching this episode of The Creative Side, and special thanks to my guest, APO Washington Bureau. And if you or anyone you know has the urge to express your creativity and inspire others to do the same, connect with MMC TV, and maybe you can be the next guest on The Creative Side.